Hey plant people, welcome, what is up? We are going to do a favorites video today. As I mentioned in my last video, I am on a schedule today, so I have like 30 minutes to get this recorded. So we are going to chop, get through these as fast as possible. Also, I do have a new mic so that I can move around and you can still hear me, and I'm like banging into the mic that's hanging over the camera. So hopefully everything sounds really good. It looks like it's in the right area on the camera, so I think we're good. Also lighting, it is what it is. We're rolling with natural lighting today. I do think that you can see the plants a lot better in natural lighting, so. We're gonna start with a few Hoya because I feel like I have not talked about Hoya in a hot minute. So the first one is SR2007-13, typical Hoya name shenanigans going on here. I've never seen this before. I just like randomly ran across it on Etsy, and I love elongated leaves. However, you see how it's like lighter in the middle, so it has like very dark green margins. It kind of is ombre to lighter in the middle, and then it also has some cutesy silver splash. That lighter margin in the middle is kind of like a cool minty tone. It's almost like New Guinea Ghost vibes. Like, how pretty is that? It's just so unique. I feel like I've literally never seen anything. I'm a sucker for anything that's like out of the ordinary, and I feel like I've never seen this before. It has started growing for me, so I bought this as a 2-leaf cutting. It has since put out these 2 leaves. This one looks really cool and like wonky and twisty, so I'm here for that one. And then we've got a little baby leaf up here and a little bit more of a tendril. But yeah, I just thought this one was a little different. Love anything with long leaves. And then, like I said, what really got me is that like ombre mint in the middle. I thought she was super cutesy. Next up, we have 2 plants that I literally thought I would never see grow. I thought that they would be 2-leaf cuttings forever. The first one is my Sulawesiana Albo marginata, and the newest leaf is not looking very Albo marginata-y. Granted, the older leaves are not super Albo-y, like they're a little Albo-y, but this is her. She's got that pink, very pink border though, and the backs of the leaves have that cool, like, subtle variegation to them. But yeah, super cool. I mean, this Hoya is like one of the coolest Hoyas around. Ignore the dots of like nutrient solution there on the leaves. But yeah, this is just like one of the coolest Hoyas, period, with how big the leaves are, and they're ultra rigid. So super cool, rigid, awesome looking. Did not grow for me for like 8 to 10 months I've had this, and it finally put out a leaf. So this is post, well, I had it up in my window, like back here, the window that you see up there that's like super overexposed. That's where it was on my little like acrylic Amazon shelf for a while. And it started growing up there, but it didn't really like take off. Like it wasn't doing anything. And then I did this whole shelf setup. And I have 2 Barina T5s on the shelf that it's under. And it really liked being blasted with light, which is really not that much of a surprise for Hoya. But yeah, I finally did that, and she rewarded me with this nice looking new leaf, ultra purple. It's very like plummy colored, and I'm hoping that eventually, like kind of as she starts growing and I'm giving her a ton of light, that maybe it'll be more Albo-y. Okay, technically this is 2 different Hoyas, but this is one that I think that is kind of notorious for taking a long time to start off, or to take off, start growing. And it is the obovata. I have both the inner variegated and the outer variegated in this same pot. And both of these were 2-leaf cuttings that tried to act like they were going to rot on me multiple times. And they are also under the double Barinas now, and they are also super into that. This is actually my second attempt with the outer variegated one. I bought 1 set of cuttings of it, and when I tell you they immediately rotted, like most Hoyas, I have a fine time just sticking in soil and propagating. There are a few that I have to water prop first, which I guess this would be one of those. But I was like, I think this one, the inner variegated one, I actually did just grow by sticking it in soil. So I was like, it's the same Hoya. It's literally just the outer variegated of the inner variegated that I already had. It literally the next day it was rotting. So yeah, would not recommend, I guess. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe it was just that specific specimen, and like this one would be fine propagating. But anyways, I digress. This one, look at the splash on this intervariegated. Holy moly. Like what I was wanting, it took me forever to find the perfect cutting that I was looking for this intervariegated one because I wanted one that was very splashy, like really splashy. And when I found it, it had a it was a 2-leaf cutting, like I said, and this was one of the leaves right here. And I was like, you know what, that splash looks pretty darn good there. So yeah, so that was the one that I went with, and it took 1,000,001 years to grow. We are finally rewarded with this crazy cuckoo splash going on here, and it's sunstressing purple. So it's fine, all's well that ends well. And then we have got the the outer variegated up here also growing. Got some new leaves in there. This one is kind of wonky shaped, which honestly is fine. I think it looks kind of cool. Not obovata. She's not giving obovata. However, the new leaves are we're looking like we're going more round. So maybe this was just like a transition boo-boo here, and she's going to go back to being like her normal obovata self. But either way, I'm just happy they're growing and they're looking good. All right, y'all, I'm only doing one Anthurium in this video because I just did my mostly entire Anthurium collection show off, tour, whatever. So those were my previous 2 videos. I will link those in the description if you're interested in seeing a lot of my 250 plus Anthurium that I have in my collection. This one was not on that list because it was giving me a time. I had it in ambient when I got it, and it just was looking very like wilty and sad. So I put it in a prop box that was 100% humidity. And I am since trying to transition it out of that prop box because it gave me this massive leaf. And not only is it massive, but it looks crazy. Like what the heckity heck is this? This is a Forgetii crossed with a Bevet, crossed back with Forgetii. I believe I got this from, I'm going to say this wrong, Burgle House Flower Farm. I'll put it on the screen. I don't remember it. Something Burgle House Flower Farm something. But yeah, I got it with, I think this was the most recent leaf. And you can see how funky it is. So as I've said many times on this channel, the weirder, the curiouser, the odditier it is, the more I'm into it. So I was like, heck yeah, that is right up my alley with its weird, contorted, wavy little self. But then she got really sad, so I put her in a pot box, and this was the next leaf it gave me. What in tarnation is going on here? What is this? Do you see how long this tail is? It has this like crazy long tail. Like I don't even think, like look at how long that is. And then this weird, what is going on with this shape? Like this is the most abstract Anthurium I have ever seen in my life. Like this thing has no pre-programmed genetics. It just goes with whatever vibe it's feeling at the time that it's putting out a new leaf because yeah, that is wild. And this being the very next leaf that it gave me, how big is this thing going to get? Can you imagine just like a massive, crazy, wavy, weird looking thing? Like imagine the things that I can breed this with. Like I'm going to make the most crazy, bizarre Anthurium you've ever seen in your life. I have 2 Alocasia for you today. The first one is my Alocasia. I thought we had spider mice. It was actually just Sully's fur stuck in this hole that I accidentally ripped in this one leaf. But this one is, I think it's the Odora. I think it is the Odora. I will put the correct name on the screen as per usual. Actually, I'll be putting all the names of all these plants on the screen. So you will know, even though I do not know at present. But it is the Blizzard. I've seen it called multiple things, but I believe the actual species name is Odora, and it is the like minty variegated version of that. I found this sucker at Publix for $15.99, and it had all these babies already in the pot, and it has been growing like crazy. Like this has been, I'm telling you, I do not condone plant neglect and or abuse, but when you rescue them from somewhere where they are getting suboptimal care, and they're on the struggle bus a little bit. And you bring them home, they were like, wow, this is great. Getting watered once a week is fine. You can underwater me some. If you overwater me, that's chill too. I'm just happy to be here away from that place, you know? And I feel like that was the vibe that came with this plant because it has just given me no fuss, which is amazing, almost unheard of for an alocasia, if I do say so myself, especially in my care. I do not have the best track record with alocasia, and I hear that a lot from other people too. So I feel like, you know, when they're doing great, they're doing great, but when they're doing bad, they're doing bad. So she's doing great. She's putting out much larger and larger and larger leaves. Her most recent leaf, this is the one that I accidentally ripped a hole in when I was building these shelves. I mean, honestly, like, can you blame me? Because there was stuff everywhere. It was literal chaos, mania in here. But it has since given me this leaf, which is absolute gorge. Beautiful, love her. I moved her somewhere where she's getting more light from above now, so she's starting to stand back up. She was kind of bent over before, which is why some of her leaves are looking kind of wonky. But yeah, honestly, this one has been so much easier. I also had the Odora Okinawa silver, and that one gave me literally nothing but trouble. This one could not be more opposite. So I highly recommend, if you have the opportunity to get this, it's been super easy for me. And if you can rescue it from somewhere where it is not living its best life and you bring it to your house, it'll be pretty impressed and it'll do pretty well in my experience. Okay, this is another alocasia, and this is my other weirdo. So this is an Alocasia Grim Reaper. It is a mutation of the Alocasia Regal Shields that I purchased from Top Notch Tropical, where they grow theirs from corm. So they harvest corms from their mother plant that has this genetic mutation that makes it look crazy, and they grow those corms out, and sometimes they do offer them available for sale. When they're, I don't know if it was their very last site update, but one of their last site updates, I got the very last one, and it has been growing like crazy, which is as per usual for Regal Shields. They are the easiest, like most vigorous alocasia that I've ever had. And it has just been busting out leaves left and right. So it came to me, it had like a couple of these leaves. So the mutation is that it's almost like kind of like Venom-esque or Alocasia loco-y, but it's the Regal Shields version. So I imagine it's much more easygoing because Regal Shields is pretty easygoing, but it has these like weird like ridges and veins on the back of the leaves. And then the leaves are very contorted and wavy, and they have this kind of flattened, expanded sinus. So it's really crazy looking, but it came to me with this leaf and this leaf as the largest leaves. And it has since given me this leaf like immediately after I got it. And then we got this leaf. How freaking cool is that? This thing looks crazy. It looks so crazy. Again, love a weirdo. Do you see the, man, I'm trying to get like the ridges and stuff on the back of the leaves because that is just really part of, let me block my face out. This is just really part of the appeal here, like that crazy venation. And then we have this leaf, which was its last leaf. So we are getting pretty darn big. We are sizing up. We are looking good. Look at those waves. Wowzers. And then the back. We see the cool ridges, wavy shape, wavy edges, looking awesome. And she has already given me a new leaf. I have just repot her. We have got roots busting out the bottom already. So very, very Alocasia Regal Shields in my experience. So if you have the opportunity for, like if this pops up and you have access to it to get it and it's within your price range and you like it, I would say go for it. Because Regal Shields variations are just way more vigorous and easy than typical Alocasia varieties. And that's a fact if you ask me. Okay, the sun is coming out, so I'm looking like a glowy ghost. So just please disregard that because I'm trying to make sure the plants look good so you can like really see them, especially these next two, because they are the previously mentioned genus that I have been dabbling in. It is caladiums. And before you click away and you say, Leslie, please, I've seen caladiums all over the place in every Home Depot and every Lowe's that I've ever stepped foot into, everywhere. These are not your typical everyday caladium varieties. These are for the most part, I believe all Thai caladiums. I don't know what's going on in Thailand, but they are doing the dang thing when it comes to pushing out these caladium varieties because they look so cool. There are so many varieties that are just like the craziest colors, the craziest mutated leaf shapes that I've ever seen. And I don't understand why more people are not talking about these because they're not impossible to find, right? Like you can find them on Palm Street, you can find them on Etsy. But I think people, or myself included, just don't think about caladiums as something that, you have any urge to collect. One thing that I really did not like about like your typical caladium varieties is like how thin the leaves are and how large they get. And, it just wasn't appealing to me. However, I'm going to show you two of them. Two of the ones that I have. I have a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 that I'm not showing you, and then the 2 that I am going to show you. So I have a grand total of 7, and you'll see the other ones in the future. I have recently repotted them, so I'm hoping that they are like not gonna, you know what I'm talking about. From what I understand, caladiums tend to be pretty easygoing. Like the foliage may die back. However, as long as their little rhizome potato-y thing is good and it's not mushy, it'll grow back from that. So I think that that rhizome is pretty resilient, even if the foliage may die back. And they're all looking pretty good right now. I have one that looks a little sad since repotting. However, it is pushing a new leaf, so I do still have hope for that one. I'm going to show you first the very first one that I ever got before I even realized that this is a whole like phenomena in Thailand where they're creating these like crazy caladium cultivars. I got this off Etsy a while ago, just as like an add-on for another plant. I don't even remember what it was. Like this was literally like a year or so ago. So that's way too far back for my memory to kick in. I had gotten some plant and I saw that they were selling these small little planties of this caladium variety. And I said, wow, I've never seen a caladium that looks like that. And this is what it looks like. And yeah, I know this does not look like a caladium. This looks absolutely crazy, which is what I said and the reason why I purchased it. The person that I bought this from was selling this as Tippy Red, which I don't know if that is like a recognized variety of caladium or if this was something that they had bred and they kind of named it that. But it does have a tendency to throw out these red splotches, which you can kind of see in that newest leaf. It has not been giving me very much red. The very first leaf that it gave me and the leaf that it came with had more red on it. So I'm kind of wondering if it has to do with like the amount of sun that they're getting as to like whether or not that red appears as much. Because this is getting okay sun where it is, but it's not direct sun. And I do believe that caladiums do kind of like the higher light side, maybe even direct sun. But it has been growing fairly well. It's not the fastest grower. Like it does like to take a break in between putting out leaves. But I mean, when the leaves come out, this is insane. It's such a shame because I just had to cut off the biggest leaf that it had because it had finally yellowed off when it was putting out this newest leaf, which is a little bit smaller. I may need to either like upsize this or put it maybe closer to my south window or something. Maybe it would appreciate that. But yeah, you just can't ignore this leaf shape. That looks crazy. And it has kind of like this contorted, oh my gosh, stop focusing on my face. This like rolled up contorted sinus. The back of the leaves are really cool. They have this like cool ridge down the back and you can see those, like the peaks of the ruffles and stuff just look super cool. And then we had, this leaf was the next one that came out. Looks pretty similar, so you can see not a lot of red on there, but it did finally give me this leaf that does have some red, and this one's still pretty soft, so it is still expanding, but it has like kind of a cool growth pattern too, where the petioles kind of stretch out and the leaf hangs down from that, which I do find that I kind of like. But yeah, so this was my OG that got me interested in caladiums being an option for me because I was just kind of blown away by this. And then I got a few different ones. One of my most recent ones, I got more for the color because this one has just the craziest color. Also, I do not know the variety of any of these. So other than the one that the so-called Tippy Red, they are just, or were just sold as Thai caladiums. So if you're interested in like looking into some of these varieties, you can just search Thai caladiums and you'll see a plethora of different colors and all of that. But this one is one of the more recent ones. Look at this. And this is going to be my thumbnail. This is going to be my thumbnail because This thing is crazy looking. That color, tell me that this color isn't a 10 out of 10. Tell me that. Go to the comments right now and tell me that the color is not a 10 out of 10. And I'm going to delete it. I'm going to delete that comment because there is no way anyone thinks that. This looks so crazy. And it did put out this little new leaf since I have gotten it. So that's a good sign. Definitely, I would say definitely better experience with these than Alocasia. I did forget to mention also that these do have like more of a thick, a little bit more rigid leaf, more towards like, I would say like an Alocasia Regal Shields is kind of what it's giving. Like it's not like a very, very thin leaf, which is what I've experienced in the caladiums in the garden center. And that is just, see, if a leaf is too thin, I think you are delicate. You are going to hate me. You're going to hate everything I do to you. All of your leaves are going to get edema and melt off. That is what I think. So I need a little bit of substance in my leaves. And the Thai caladiums have much more of that, I would say, than the ones that you find here in the garden centers. But yeah, definitely these are some of my favorite plants right now, which is, you know, I'm not normally one for bright colors, especially because I'm an Anthurium person. So I really like dark, subtle type stuff. But I mean, this is unearthing some kind of alternate personality for me where I love colors and vibrancy. Because this is, man, look at that. It's crazy. All right, y'all, that is all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you like this video and you want to see more content like this from me, please like, please subscribe. It means so much to me and it helps my channel so much. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.